وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. قال الإمام الحسن العسكري عليه أفضل الصلاة والسلام: إن أحدكم أو إن الرجل منكم إذا ورع في دينه وصدق حديثه وحسن خلقه قيل هذا شيعي فيسرني ذلك. وصدق الإمام الحسن العسكري عليه السلام. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. My dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I would like to offer my condolences to the Imam of our time, Al-Imam Sahib Al-Asri wal-Zaman, روحي لتربة مقدمه الفداء, for their martyrdom anniversary of his father, Al-Imam Al-Hassan Al-Askari alayhi salam, and also offering my condolences to Ahl al-Bayt alayhim salam in general, and also to the Shia of Ahl al-Bayt alayhim salam across the globe, and most importantly Shia of Ahl al-Bayt alayhim salam in this community of Al-Imam Ali Center in Alexandria. And I hope and pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we're all counted as a true followers of Imam Al-Hassan Al-Askari alayhi salam. And may we all granted the shafa'ah of Imam Al-Hassan Al-Askari on the day of Qiyamah, inshallah. Tonight, as we are commemorating the martyrdom anniversary of Imam Al-Hassan Al-Askari, our topic tonight is how to make Imam Al-Hassan Al-Askari happy. How to put happiness in the heart of your Imam. That's our topic tonight. This topic is important because in Islam, it is very important to make a mu'min happy. As a matter of fact, there is hadith: الأعمال إلى الله إدخال السرور في قلب المؤمن. The most beloved act that Allah loves the most is when you do something to put a smile on the face of a mu'min or mu'mina. And not only that, there are many narrations saying that even smiling at the face of mu'min is counted as sadaqah. That is how much Islam values doing something to make somebody happy. Now imagine what you will do to make your Imam happy. Not just ordinary mu'min. Al-Imam himself. That what can I do to make my Imam happy? And this hadith is so unique because sometimes I can just think or assume maybe XYZ will make Imam happy. Sometimes I will make Imam happy. The Imam Al-Hassan Al-Askari himself telling you what you can do to make him happy. What you can do to put a smile on his face. And that is what makes this hadith unique. And this hadith can be found in a book called Tuhaf al-Uqul, where Al-Imam Al-Hassan Al-Askari is talking to his Shia. And another what makes the hadith unique, the hadith is not general to everybody. Al-Imam Al-Hassan Al-Askari is referring to those who call themselves Shia. In other words, if you consider yourself Shia, this hadith is for you. The things you can do to make Al-Imam Al-Hassan Al-Askari happy. And he says, there are 4 things, not that much. 4 things, if you and I are to do them, Al-Imam Al-Hassan Al-Askari said, it makes me happy. So let's see what we can do, that tonight as we leave this center, what can we take home so that we can apply on daily basis so that we know for sure Al-Imam Al-Hassan Al-Askari is smiling at you and I. Because of what? What he said. The hadith comes where Imam Al-Hassan started to say, إِنَّ الرَّجُلَ مِنْكُمْ. Say, a man among you. No, but the word rajul in Arabic, it means a man. But it refers both a man and woman both. You know, in Arabic, when you are talking to a man and a woman, the term is... But it doesn't mean that women are excluded. No, they are part of it too. Now when you go to the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu aqimus salah. Aqimus salat is the masculine. Men must pray too. Another verse, Allah says, Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu kutiba alaykumus siyam. Not kunna, kum. But it's referring to both male and female. So when Imam says in this hadith, Inna rajula minkum, it's a man among you, or anybody among you, male or female, doesn't make a difference. إِذَا وَرِعَ فِي دِينِهِ. The first one, what makes Imam happy? If one of you is able to become the pious one. When a person, as a Muslim, as a Shi'i, when I become closer to Allah, I'm fearful to Allah, I'm God conscious in every aspect of life. Imam says, that's the first thing that makes me happy. Now, what does it mean? Al-wara. But the narration says, إِنَّ الرَّجُلَ مِنْكُمْ إِذَا وَرِعَ فِي دِينِهِ. When he or she becomes God conscious, whatever he does, he counts Allah first. He doesn't say something unless he knows Allah is pleased with it. He doesn't go to a place unless he knows God is allowed me to go. He doesn't do any action unless he knows that Allah is pleased with it. Imam says, that is the first thing in Islam, according to the Imam, what makes him happy. God conscious, thinking about Allah. Always before he does, he's thinking about Allah. And this hadith is not just Imam emphasizing about the wara, fear of Allah, having Allah in mind. All Imams, they emphasize about how important this is. If you are a Shi'i, you have to have the fear of Allah. As a matter of fact, you cannot be considered Shi'i if you don't fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There's one hadith from Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq alayhi afdalu salatu was-salam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. He said, and this, I want all of us to hear this very well, brothers and sisters. Because most of the time, we think being a Shia is to prostrate on the turba. Or when the ma'tam comes, you beat your chest. That's the Shia. I'm a Shia because, I do better ma'tam. It's part of it? No. But there is qualities of Shia. Al-Imam Jafar al-Sadiq tells you, he said, لَيْسَ مِنَّا مَنْ عَاشَ فِي مِصْرٍ. Anyone who happened to live in a city, al-Misr means city, وَفِيهِ, and in that city, مِئَةُ أَلْفٍ, there is 100,000 people living in that city. أَوْ يَزِيدُونَ, or even more than that. وَفِيهِ مَنْ هُوَ أَوْرَعْ مِنْ. Allahu Akbar. Imam says, if you're living in a city and there is 100,000 people there, and you're a Shia, and there is one person fears Allah more than you, I said, don't even count yourself your Shia. And the Shia, we think it's about what? Beating a chest. Being Shia is positioned in the turba. Being Shia is other things else. Imam is saying, لَيْسَ مِنَّا مَنْ عَاشَ فِي مِصْرٍ. Any city, you find yourself in there. You live there, and there is another person fears Allah more than you. He said, you can't be counted as a Shia. That's how important taqwa Allah is to Ahlul Bayt alayhim as-salam. Al-Imam Ali alayhi salam, he also talked about al-wara, having Allah, God conscious. In one of the khutbah the Prophet gave before the month of Ramadan, and the Prophet explained what to do in the month. And he asked Rasulullah, Ya Rasulullah, ma huwa afdalul a'mal fi hadha al-shahr? Ya Rasulullah, you mentioned so many things to be done in the month of Ramadan. Giving sadaqah, giving iftar, salat al-layl, reading Quran, many things. But let's ask you, Ya Rasulullah, what is the best act to do in the month of Ramadan? Better than all of these. What was the best? The Prophet says, Ya Ali, إن أفضل الأعمال في هذا الشهر الورع عن محارم الله. الورع عن محارم الله. When you are able to stay away from sin. Now, many of the time, we think doing things in Islam is what is the best. But the Prophet is telling you, that's not the best. The best is when you are able to refrain yourself, to protect yourself from falling into sin. That's the best act. Al-wara'u an maharimillah. That's the best act. And Ahlul Bayt, they all God conscious. Now, question, where do I start? Conscious, where do I start? Tonight I'm going to mention two things. Number one, you cannot be God conscious unless you know who is Allah. You have to know Allah first. You have to recognize who is Allah. Then you become what? Conscious of God. That's why Imam Ali in Naj al-Balagha, in the first khutbah, he says, Awwaluddin ma'rifatu. The first thing in Islam is to get to know Allah. Allah himself, he tells you, he says, Ya abdi, i'rifni qabla an ta'budani. My servant, get to know me before you say Allahu Akbar, before you say Subhanallah, before you say Quran. He said, know me first. And he says, فَإِن لَمْ تَعْرِفْنِي. If you don't know me, فَكَيْفَ تَعْبُدْنِي. How do you want to serve me? You don't have my ma'arifah, and you say, no, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. But I don't know Allah. Allah himself, he said, get to know me first. Then you will know who is Allah. When you see Imam Ali standing in Salah, and his body shivers, right? And his body be turning yellow. People ask him, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, lima tartajif? Why are you shivering? And he says, أَتَعْلَمُونَ أَمَامَ أَيُّ عَظِيمٍ وَقَفْتِ. Which greatest one I stand. To many of us, we don't know Allah. That's why when we stand, we play with our beards, crack fingers, looking right and left. Like Rasulullah saw somebody in the masjid. He was praying, and he was playing, looking left and right, playing with his beard. The Prophet says, لو خشع القلب لخشعت الجوارح. If this man was to carry the fear of Allah in his heart, it would have showed in his body. When he stand before Allah, he wouldn't be playing his beard. He wouldn't be playing with his fingers. Ma'rifah of Allah is the key. I cannot be considered Shi'i if I don't know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's number one. Number two, that ma'rifah also generate to feel the presence of Allah all the time. Many often time, we forget Allah. That's what Quran says, وَلَا تَكُونُوا كَالَّذِينَ نَسُوا اللَّهَ فَأَنْسَاهُمْ أَنفُسَهُم. Don't become like those who forgot Allah. Many of us, we think we know Allah, but at some point we forget God even exists. A mu'min supposed to feel the presence of Allah 24/7. Anytime you remember Allah, what happened? You become what? Conscious. One of the things we forget, and that's the reason we commit sin, we do ghibah, we do haram, it's because. And that's what Quran says, أَفَلَا يَعْلَمُ بِأَنَّ اللَّهَ يَرَى. Doesn't human being knows that Allah is watching? Doesn't he know Allah knows? Doesn't he know Allah is watching? If we are to know that Allah is watching, it helps us to be careful about all what we do. The first thing in Islam, according to the Imam Al-Askari, it says, إِذَا وَرِعَ أَحَدُكُمْ فِي دِينِهِ. Become God conscious in his religion, day-to-day activities. I fear Allah in my relationship with my wife. I fear Allah not to do injustice to her. I fear Allah not to oppress my children. I fear Allah not to steal someone, even if he doesn't know. I fear Allah is watching with my neighbors. I fear Allah in my brothers and sisters. I fear Allah in everything. Imam says, this is the first thing that makes me happy. Inna rajula minkum, say minkum, among you, Shia, right? إِذَا وَرِعَ فِي دِينِهِ. Makes me happy. That's number one. Number two, he says, وَصَدَقَ حَدِيثَهُ. And he tells the truth. Whenever he or she open her mouth, she only say the truth and only truth. My dear brothers and sisters, can you and I say the same thing what Imam is saying today? Can I say that from dawn till right now, everything that I said was truth? Can I say that? Now today, right now, if Imam Zaman comes and he says, close the doors, close, right now. Nobody is allowed to leave until you prove from Fajr till right now, you never said anything lie. You think we can pass the test? No, I call myself Shi'i. Imam Al-Hassan said, وَصَدَقَ حَدِيثًا. And mind you, Al-Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he tells you, he said, Al-Farq, the difference between a Muslim and Mu'min is what? Is telling the truth. Any person can still feel themselves to lie and say, guarantee you are not a Mu'min. You're Muslim, yes, but you're not a Mu'min. Because you cannot be a Mu'min and tell a lie. It doesn't matter. In America, we have white lies, different lies. Not in Islam, there's one lie. Any lie is haram in Islam. Yes, we have mustathnayat al-kadhib, where Islam allows you in certain situation. Such as what? When you're trying to reconcile between husband and wife. If you say in a word, which is not true, just to bring them together, Islam says that's fine. But am I allowed to lie because I want to get some money from somebody? Am I allowed to lie so that I can cheat someone, so I can betray someone? Absolutely not. Whether they're Muslim or non-Muslim. And Imam tells you, وَصَدَقَ حَدِيثًا. Your words is truthful. No circumstances ever comes, I allowed myself to lie. Absolutely, that's not a sign of a mu'min. This hadith, the Prophet was talking to Imam Ali. He said, Ya Ali, usika bi wasaya fahfadha. Ya Ali, I want to tell you a bunch of advices and make sure that you act upon it. He said, wa illam, Ya Ali, if you don't do according to them, he said, فَلَا تَلُومَنَّ إِلَّا نَفْسَكَ. Don't blame anybody but yourself. Ya Rasulullah, وَمَا هُنْ? What are they? He said, Ya Ali, لا يخرجن في فيك كذبة أبدا. Ya Ali, never allow yourself to allow your tongue to say something about lies. Never. And guess what? These lies or telling lies is what the Al-Quran cursed anyone who lies. فَنَجْعَلْ لَعْنَةَ اللَّهِ عَلَى الْكَاذِبِينَ. Allah said, I curse anybody who lies. Allah doesn't like people who lie. The Prophet emphasized about what? As-sidq. And he says, An-najatu fi sidq. Yours to be rescued, to be protected, to be defended is what? It's in telling the truth. Never in any circumstances, because of a dunya, because of something that I will get, I'm allowed to lie, deceive, cheat, just because something I want to do. Today, many of us have businesses, right? Now, look in our businesses, how much we tell lies, just because we want to get a bunch of dollars from this person. I want to make extra money, so I'm allowed to lie and deceive and cheat so that I can get a few dollars from this person. And then at the same time, I'm considering myself what? Shi'i, Muslim, mu'min. Can't be. You mu'min, you have to watch your tongue. And if you want to know, the biggest problem of any one of us is two things. Every human being, every Muslim, you have the biggest problem in your life is two things. And this is coming from whom? From Imam Ali ibn Musa al-Radha. When a man came to me, I said to him, I said, Ya ibn Rasulillah, idman li al-Jannah. Can you guarantee me Jannah? Imam said, yes, I'll guarantee you. إِذَا ضَمِنْتَ لِيَ شَيْئَيْنِ. If you guarantee me two things, I guarantee you Jannah. Good. What are they? Say number one. I said, idman li hada. He hold his tongue. I said, guarantee me you take care of this tongue. I'll guarantee you Jannah. Allahu Akbar. Do you know how dangerous this tongue is? This tongue that you see it, tiny being, right? In your mouth is the most dangerous being in every part of your body. Guess what? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to protect you, Allah put this tongue into 3 prisons. 3 prisons. 1, 2, lock, lock, lock. But the tongue comes, open the first one, second one, third one, goes out. That's the damage. Go back to sleep peacefully. Ya Rab, look at this. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, before he created the tongue, he created 2 jaws. One is the upper and the bottom one. That's the first one, prison. The second one, Allah created 2 upper teeth and the bottom teeth. The third one, upper lips and the bottom lips. All right? The lips close, and then the 2 teeth, they close, jaws, they close, and the tongue is where? All the way at the back. But he opened the first prison, the second prison, the third prison, does the damage, and go back and sleep. And that's why in the riwayah, it is said that every morning when we wake up, every part of your body turn to the tongue and says, Ya ayyatuha lisan. Oh, you the tongue, we are safe if you are safe. And we are in trouble if you are in trouble. That's why in Surah Yasin, Allah said, الْيَوْمَ نَخْتِمُ عَلَىٰ أَفْوَاهِهِمْ وَتُكَلِّمُنَا أَيْدِيهِمْ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ. Allah said, I'm going to seal this tongue. It's not going to talk يوم القيامة. Who's going to do the talking? Allah said, your hands, your legs, they all will talk, but not the mouth. That's how dangerous this tongue is. And that is why Imam says, one is the tongue, the second one, your private part. Guarantee me these 2, I say, I guarantee Jannah is waiting for you. That is how this tongue is so dangerous. And not only that, You see this tongue, if we are able to protect it and do the right thing, Wallahi al-Azim, brothers and sisters, there is so much to gain. If we can take care of this tongue and put what? A leash on this tongue, right? When the tongue started to go far, put it back, pull it back, right? If we can do that, I guarantee there's so much good is coming out of it. Parents, right? Those who have children, listen to the Quran. Allah says, وَلْيَخْشَ الَّذِينَ لَوْ تَرَكُوا مِنْ خَلْفِهِمْ ذُرِّيَّةً ضِعَافًا خَافُوا عَلَيْهِمْ. Allah says, where are the fathers, where are the mothers who have children and they're about to die, or they worry about the children? If I die today, what's going to happen to my children? Who's going to care for them? How would their future be? How would their life be? Are they going to stay believers? Are they going to be protected? Are they going to leave Islam? What would happen to them? If you're worried about it, Allah said, I'm going to tell you two things. If you do two things, Allah said, that is the security I can give you. Your children, their future, their faith is guaranteed by Allah. What are they? Allah says, وَلْيَخْشَ الَّذِينَ لَوْ تَرَكُوا مِنْ خَلْفِهِمْ ذُرِّيَّةً ضِعَافًا لِيَتَّقُوا اللَّهَ وَلِيَقُولُوا قَوْلًا سَدِيدًا. Allah said, two things you do. What are they? I say, have Allah in mind. Have God's conscience in everything that you do. Two, I say, watch your tongue. These two things are the security from Allah. I say, in case you die, you worry about your children. Allah said, we got your children. We take care of them. Do you have any example from the Quran? Somebody who was a good mu'min, believer, he dies or she dies, left children, and Allah took care of them. Allah said, of course I did that. Who? Surah Al-Kahf. Khidr and Musa. When the last story Allah talks about them, right? When they passed by a village, when the villagers refused to take care of them, they found a wall which was about to break down, right? And what happened? Allah Rabbul Alameen sent Musa and Khidr to go and rebuild the wall. For whom? For those two children. يَتِيمَيْنِ فِي الْمَدِينَةِ. After they built the wall, Musa was wondering, asked Khidr, Khidr, why did you let us work for these people for no money, for nothing? Quran answer, not because of the children. It said, وَكَانَ أَبُوهُمَا صَالِحًا. The father was a righteous one, was a mu'min. Allah took care of those children after the father died. With the treasure the father left, Allah sent Musa and Khidr to come and protect that treasure for those children. And say, I can do that for you too. But when? When you have Allah in mind. And secondly, if you do what? If you take care of your tongue. Imam Al-Hassan Al-Askari, he says, وَصَدَقَ حَدِيثًا. Always tell the truth. Number three, he says, وَأَدَّ الْأَمَانَةِ. He took care of the trust. When people trust you with something, so make sure that you fulfill that. Now, what is amana? Amana is mostly between two people. Somebody trusted you with something, right? Islam says, never ever betrayed the trust. Doesn't matter how small that trust could be. As somebody trusts you, make sure that you keep that trust. In Quran, in Surah Al-Mu'minun, one of the qualities of the true believers, Allah said, وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ لِأَمَانَاتِهِمْ وَأَهْدِهِمْ رَاعُونَ. Those who protect their trusts. Kafir, mu'min, Muslim, anybody who trusts you with something, I say you protect that trust regardless. And this trust sometimes is not about money. Sometimes the trust can be verbal. Somebody, a husband and wife, they came to you, they tell you their secret, right? You're having problem. They came to you, they told you. All right? I get home, the first thing, honey, come, come, come. Did you hear what's happening? I have to reveal the secret of this man and his wife to my wife. Right? Another one, another brother, another spread. That's khiyana. The person trusted you with their secret. It's wajib to protect that secret. A person trusted you with something little, amana, money. Can you keep this money? Say, sure. I take the money. Now I'm started doing business with that money. With his consent? Nope. Oh, just give me money. I want to work with that. Inshallah, anytime he wants the money, I can give him back. Yes, you can. But using the money without his consent is haram in Islam. Because that's what betraying the trust. Now, some scholars, they say, somebody give me $100, right? For example, let's say, he gave me $100 bill or $20 bills, right? And I want to change it and take the and get the 100 bill note. I need to get a permission from the person. I'm not using it. I'm just making a change. Yes, the person gave you $20 bills, yes, right? Can I use it without his consent? Absolutely not. This is why Rasulullah became what? Sadiqul Ameen. Trustworthy. Kafir, disbelievers, they trust Rasulullah. They bring their things to him. Their private matter, they come, they trust Rasulullah. You know, one of the scariest hadiths from Imam Zayn al-Abidin, alayhi afdalu salatu wassalam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali. He says, لو أمنني قاتل أبي بالسيف الذي قتل به أبي لأمنته إياه. Allahu Akbar. Imam Zayn al-Abidin says, if the killer of my father, Shimr, if he is to bring the sword, he cut the throat of my father with it. If he is to bring it to me and say, Ya Ali ibn al-Hussein, this is the sword, I killed your father with it, and I want to keep it with you, I'll come back for it. I say, I will protect that sword until the day he comes again. Can you imagine how trust is important? That Imam says, I'm never going to betray that trust. There's a narration says, ثلاثة لم يرخص فيهن الله. There are three things, Allah never took anything lightly in that. One of them is a برُّ الوالدين فاجرين أم مؤمنين. Being kind to the parent, even if they are worst parent. Allah said, you still have the responsibility to be kind to them. وَإِن جَاهَدَاكَ عَلَىٰ أَن تُشْرِكَ مَا لَيْسَ لَكَ بِهِ عِلْمٌ فَلَا تُطِعْهُمَا وَصَاحِبْهُمَا فِي الدُّنْيَا مَعْرُوفًا. You still have the responsibility to be kind to them. Even if they are bad people. Your parents, Allah said, I don't give any discount when it comes to parents. They're good parents, bad parents, you still have the responsibility to care for them. Number two, I say, what? Now, trust. Even if the person is the lowest of the people. He trusts you with something. Say, brother, sister, can you keep this for me? Yes. As responsible to do what? To make sure that you take it. Now, just let me tell you, the Quran tells you how this amana is so important that Allah says, إِنَّا أَرَضْنَا الْأَمَانَةَ عَلَى السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ فَأَبَيْنَ أَنْ يَحْمِلْنَا. Allah said, this trust, we presented it to the heaven and the earth, and they knew how important this is, and they say, Ya Allah, we can't take it. They rejected it. That's how important the amana is. Al-Imam Al-Hassan Al-Askari said the third thing is what? Says, وَأَدَّ الْأَمَانَةِ. Anybody who trusted you with something, make sure that you take care of it. Make sure that you will return it back to the person as it is. And that's the sign of what? The third thing that makes Imam Al-Hassan Al-Askari happy. Number four, he says, وَحَسَّنَ خُلْقَهُ مَعَ النَّاسِ. Listen carefully, brothers and sisters. Not وَحَسَّنَ خُلْقَهُ مَعَ الشِّيعَةِ. No, 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 no. Not وَحَسَّنَ خُلْقَهُ مَعَ الْمُسْلِمِينَ. مَعَ النَّاسِ. And he or she really work on their manners. They work on what? Their akhlaq towards what? Towards humanity. So many of us, we think sometimes it's okay to be bad towards the non-Muslims. It's okay if somebody's atheist, doesn't matter, it's a kafir anyway, so I can be mean to them. Somebody's not a Shia, so I can be mean to them. It's okay. You know, if it's Shia, yeah, I have to be conscious. Here Imam is saying, وَحَسَّنَ خُلُقَهُ. He repairs his behavior. Towards whom? Ma'annas, with all people. This akhlaq can be the best way to bring others to Imam, to Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. That is how important this is. Then Imam says, about these 4 akhlaq, right? Number 1, wari'a fi dini. Number 2, sadaqa haditha. Number 3, adda al-amana. Number 4, as a hassana khuluqa, as a qila. Then others who watched him, qila hadha shi'iyyun. Then others will say, oh, this is a Shia. That's why it's so different. That's why it's unique. Imam says, فَإِنَّ ذَلِكَ يَسُرُّنِي. This akhlaq that I just mentioned, it makes me happy. When I hear others are pointing at my followers with this beautiful akhlaq, I say, it makes me happy. That is the time of the true Shia from Imam al-Hassan al-Askari. Imam al-Hassan al-Askari, his imama only lasted for 6 years. Imam al-Hassan al-Askari was born and raised in Medina. He and his father, Imam al-Hadi alayhi salam, they lived in Medina until they were forced against their will to move from Medina to come to Iraq. And when they in the city today, which we know is called what? Samarra. The word Samarra is originally 3 words. And it's known Surra Man Ra'a. That's the actual word. Surra Man Ra'a. That's the name of the city. Then it's called Terkib Masjid. They broke it and became Samarra. But the actual word Surra Man Ra'a. Like Karbala, the actual word Karbon Wabala. And it was merged, Terkib Masjid, it became what? Karbala. Surra Man Ra'a means what? A city that whoever sees it become pleased by seeing it. That's the meaning of Samarra. They brought Imam and his father and they put them in that city. Especially in the city called Al-Askari. And the reason it was called Askari, because what? It was an army camp where they kept their army. But in Abbas, they have their army. They are there and they put imams there so they can watch Imam from close. Imam al-Hassan al-Askari lived the most very difficult time. One of the difficult times that he went through, that Imam al-Hassan al-Askari was not allowed to teach or talk or give speech for that matter during his time. With all of that, Imam al-Hassan al-Askari went through all of that, prison after prison, from one location to other location. With all those difficulties, Imam al-Hassan al-Askari was doing his what? His job as an imam. One of the imam's work during his time was one of the philosophers, and it's called Ishaq al-Kandi. Was one of the philosophes. Some scholars called him Qadi al-Qudat, one of the supreme judges. It was a Muslim. The book that I found contradiction in Quran, and I'm going to write a book against Quran and to prove that there is what? There is contradiction in Quran. As he started writing the book, the news came to Imam al-Hassan al-Askari. Imam Hassan al-Askari asked one of his servants, I said, Ama minkum rajulun, is there any man among you who can stand against Ishaq al-Kindi and respond to him to stop what he's trying to do? Then the companion said, Ya Ibn Rasulullah, none of us have knowledge to that extent to stand against him. Ishaq al-Kindi is a great scholar, Philosoph, Qadi. We can't stand him. Imam said, okay, I'll tell you one question to go ask him and let me know what's happened afterwards. What is it? I said, اذهب إليه, go to him and ask him, Ya Ishaq al-Kindi, whatever you understood from the Quran, thinking is contradiction, is there any possibility that Allah meant something different than what you thought you understood? To go ask him that question. Surely enough, the companion came. He went to the Ishaq al-Kindi. As he went to him, he said, Assalamu alaikum. They sat down. He said, I have a question. What is the question? He posted the question of Imam to him. When Ishaq al-Kindi heard the question, he put his head down. Then later on, he raised his head. He said to him, Mimman laka hadha su'al? We said, where did you get this question? I said, no, I'm asking you this question. It's from me. I said, no. That question is not from you. Tell me, where did you get this question? I said, from Imam al-Hassan al-Askari. I said, I knew it. This question cannot come from somebody like you. It has to come from someone above you. And he said, absolutely. From this question, I understood that I could be possibly wrong. And he took those papers that he wrote, that there's contradiction in the Quran. He started to tear them apart and burn them. Now, do you know how much Imam have saved the Ummah? Another division. Now, if Ishaq al-Kindi was to write that book, there is contradiction in Quran. Today, you would have found some Muslims believe in that. But one question of Imam al-Hassan al-Askari stopped that. And that is the greatness of Imam al-Hassan al-Askari. With all this effort of Imam, finally, al-Mu'tamad al-Abbasi, la'natullahi alayh, he realized there is nothing he can do to match Imam al-Hassan al-Askari. But there is one way out to get rid of Imam al-Hassan al-Askari. What is that? Is to put the poison in the food of Imam al-Hassan al-Askari alayhi salam. Surely enough, Imam had the food. The poison started to go through the system of Imam al-Hassan al-Askari. The night of the Martyrdom of Imam al-Hassan al-Askari, the only one who was next to him was his son, Imam al-Hujjah, who was watching his father, يُقَلِّبُ يَمِينًا وَشِمَالًا. He was turning right and left from the pain that he was going through, from that poison that he was given. Then the pain became even more severe, that Imam alayhi salam, his color changed from that poison that he was given. Al-Imam alayhi salam, the poison was even bad enough that Imam couldn't speak frequently as he wished. Imam, when he talked some minute, then he stopped because of the pain. Finally, Imam looked at his son, Imam al-Hujjah, and he says, Bunayya, anta khalifati fihim. He said, my son, I know I cannot make it from this moment on. My son, you are the next Imam from this point on. I said, my son, Bunayya, idha mittu faghassilni. My son, after my martyrdom, I want you to wash me. وكفدني, enshroud me. نار ذات صلي علي, and pray on my body. وادفني, and be the one to bury me. And I want you to bury me in the same city where my grandfather is buried too. And surely enough, Al-Imam al-Hassan al-Askari alayhi salam, And the narration says, ثُمَّ وَصَّاهُ بِوَصَايَا. He gave Imam al-Hujjah all the advices that he's supposed to give. As this is the sunnah of every Imam. Before they leave this world, they have to transfer all the information to the next Imam. Imam al-Hassan al-Askari did exactly that to his son. After that, the narration said, ثم غمض عينيه. Imam closed his eyes at that point. ومدد يديه. He stretched his arms at that point. ومدد رجليه. He then stretched his legs as well. And then he said, what? أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. I testify there is nobody worthy of worship except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وأشهد أن محمد رسول الله. I testify Muhammad is a messenger of Allah. Then what happened, ya Imam al-Hujjah? I said, ثم فاض روحه الطاهرة. I said, at that moment, my father, Imam al-Hassan al-Askari, he had his final breath. What happened to Imam al-Hujjah? He called, wa imama, wa hasana, wa askariya. I said, oh, woe upon myself for the losing a father like that. And Imam al-Hujjah alayhi salam was the one to take the wash of the body, take the wash and the coffin of the father. But the question is, Ya Imam, Ya Sahib al-Asr wal-Zaman, your father, Imam al-Hassan al-Askari, is getting the wash and the burial. But what happened to Gharib Karbala? Al-Imam al-Hussein, who was murdered and left on the plain of Karbala, bila ghusl wala kafanin. He was left on the plain of Karbala 3 days, no ghusl wala kafan. I wish that's all they did to Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Zainab salamullahi alayha, she told the story when she was walking on the body of Abu Abdullah and she recognized him. She turns towards the Masjid al-Nabawi and she says, Ya Rasulullah, هذا حسين بالعرى مسلوب العمامة والردى. Say, Ya Rasulullah, you recognize Hussein, right? Yes, this is him today. He then took off the abaa that he was wearing, which is from you, Ya Rasulullah. Masloob al-imama, the turban that he was wearing, which belongs to you, Ya Rasulullah. They took that away. Ya Zainab, not only that, even the ring of Abu Abdullah عليه على لعنة الله على القوم الظالمين. إلهنا نسألك وندعوك بأحب الخلق إليك بمحمد وعلي وفاطمة والحسن والحسين والتسعة المعصومين من ذرية الحسين. فرج عنا فرجا عاجلا قريبا كلمح البصر أو هو أقرب من ذلك إلى أموات المؤمنين والمؤمنات لا سيما الحاضرين السامعين، وإلى أموات من مات على الإيمان ومن مات على ولاية علي أمير المؤمنين، وإلى أرواح الشهداء وإلى أرواح العلماء والصالحين. رحم الله من يقرأ الفاتحة مع الصلوات. صلى